Hello, everyone. If you just joined me, I'm just doing a really casual session. If you want to ask me for any shadow, and I'll try and make it. It's really good for me to just practice new things. And I mean, probably some of the things you'll ask me will be things I've done before. But if it's for specific people or things like this, then obviously there's a good chance that I haven't made them, and I might have to Google how they look in order to make them. So yesterday, my good friend in Italy, Matteo, is getting people to suggest shadows that he makes, and one of them, they're people mostly, and one of them was somebody I hadn't heard of. So I thought, who is that? And I Googled it, and it was an Italian DJ called Gigi someone, I don't know. So I thought, how would I make him? He has a beard. He has, in the picture I found, he had quite a good smile. He's wearing glasses as his nose, and he was wearing a hat. And so quite a sort of broad hat actually. And so there he is, and there's his smile, like that. It's quite fun to just play with that. So if you want to ask me for anything, just put it into the chat. Everybody's disappeared now. So I'll just keep practicing. Hello, Thomas the Tank Engine Gaming. How are you? Good, good. Did you want to request a shadow? Challenge me with something to make. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so sometimes I do the horse like this, and then sometimes the horse has a little rider on the back. It doesn't work so well with this light, but yeah, you can get the idea that little cowboy, and sometimes I make the horse's head. Uh, I'm used to working at a slightly different angle, so this is a little bit experimental. He looks a bit like a giraffe. Hey, Matteo, I was just talking about you. There you are. That's so funny. How are you? Come stai? This is what happens when you work on a long run of a show in Germany. You end up spending a lot of time by yourself, going, "What can I do with my time? Practice shadows. Yay!" Oh, good, good. I'm glad you love the tutorials. Yeah, yeah. There are quite a lot of them now, actually. So, all because of the pandemic, I started making videos, and I haven't stopped. Yeah, good, good, good. Matteo. Yeah, I was just talking about this guy. What is his name? Gigi, somebody, the DJ. I don't know what his name is. Anyway, like how I was thinking about making him, and like he has a beard, and the picture I found, he's got quite a nice smile, and his glasses, obviously. I don't even know if you use the thumb in the same way for the glasses, or you use something else, but the thumb works pretty well for me. And then he had a hat, so making him like that. Something like that. I mean, this is a bit of a rough draft, but yeah, there's a smile. R2D2, yeah, okay. So I do actually do R2D2. Gigi D'Agostino, no, I can't see, there's something in the way of the last letter. Yeah, so this is how I make R2D2. It's not, yeah, he's Italian DJ, that's right. So this is how I make R2D2. It's not perfect. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's a little bit iffy. People get it because of the sound effect, but yeah. So it's bending the wrist like this, and then just kind of finding a little bit of a curve and not making too much, I don't know, too much curve here like this. And then for the legs, for the like thing that he revolves on, 2 fingers like this. And then the foot, it's kind of like making a snail, but like getting rid of the snail head. And then just finding the right place to put the leg. I mean, I've been told that the leg should go lower down by somebody, but if you imagine a kind of level, I'm going to use this cushion, this handy cushion as a level. There we go. Yeah, so something like that. Yeah. I think if I just twist the wrist very slightly, I get a better shape at the top. Trying to make a Pikachu. So this is Pokemon. This is something I don't know anything about, so I'm actually going to go and Google it while we're talking. Pikachu. Pikachu. Is Pikachu the yellow one? Yeah, Pikachu's the yellow one. Okay, I do have an idea what Pikachu looks like. Probably this is probably the most famous Pokemon, right? Let's have a look. Okay. Interesting. So we've got the 2 little pointy ears, and then everything's kind of like round like that. I guess side view of Pikachu's not that interesting, probably. Okay. So yeah. So replying to Matteo here, yeah, actually what I do is I do Yoda. Yoda's so simple and people love it. And then Yoda walks away, his little arms wobble. So this is my Yoda. Let's get rid of this handy cushion. Yeah. So that's my Yoda. Oh, like that. And he says the do or do not. There is no try. And then he walks away. And people love that he's walking away. Then I do Darth Vader. I won't do Darth Vader right now. And then it goes into R2D2, then Darth Vader, because Darth Vader and R2D2 have a similar kind of thing going on. This is incredibly difficult. I sometimes have problems with this one because my little finger gets a bit shaky, but I said handy cushion again. But essentially, yeah, Darth Vader's kind of like that. And then I turn him sideways, which I haven't done for a while. I'm a bit out of practice, but it's something like that. Yeah. And then he walks away. So Pikachu, back to Pikachu. So yeah, so Pikachu's got quite a round little face. And then the little pointy ears. So probably I want to use 2 fingers for that. We're going to lose the curly face if I do that though. Thumbs for ears. Just the finger like that. Yeah, little finger might work. No. So there's the round face. There's the ears. This is my attempt at Pikachu. Attempt number 1. So okay. It's looking a bit like an owl to me at the moment, an owl with incredibly long eyelashes. Yeah, cheers, Matteo. Stay well. Maybe you can try to make a shark puppet. Okay, I'm going to have a think about Pikachu. I'm going to come for Zenik. I'm going to come back to Pikachu. I'm going to show you a shark. So there are 2 different ways I make a shark. You've always got to think about how the audience is going to receive what you're doing and how they're going to imagine what it is, right? So if we think of like the sea, there's the water. I'm using this handy cushion as a kind of playboard, and then the shark fin comes up like that. And then what I usually do is I turn around. Okay, so now my arm is the water, and then the shark fin goes the other way. I like to kind of play with not just something going in one direction, but thinking about can it turn around and what can it do. So what I'm doing there is thumb and index finger together to make the fin, and then the water just covering that bit, so that's the fin. And then when it turns around, it's the same thing. You can see the shape is slightly different. It will be, of course, because it's, oh, I made another owl, look at that. Yeah, so basically that's the shark fin, and then it turns around, it comes towards, a bit higher up there is, yeah, that's how I make sure. But it's also possible to, do a full shark. Okay, so I specialize in making these underwater creatures. I'm quite interested in them. They're quite a challenge. So the shark's head is like this, and the fin on the top is the thumb. The thumb's actually quite fin shaped like that. So you see what I'm doing with my hand. All the fingers are close together. And then the tail, this is kind of a standard fish tail that I make. So the shark looks something like that. And then it's a lot about the movement, like that. I don't usually use the shark in my underwater. I've got a whole underwater scene where I make like an orca, and some people think this is a shark, but a lot of kids especially get that it's an orca or a killer whale because of the little white marking and the shape of the head, which is nice that they get that. There's also my favorite shadow, which I developed with my good friend Gonzalo, the seahorse. I love this because it's such a beautiful shape and it's so complicated, but actually it comes every time. Hello, Mrinal. Oh my goodness, it's lovely to see you there. Yeah, great. I'm just going to respond to, I can't read Cyrillic, so I can't read your name, unfortunately. But is it possible to make a fox? Yeah, okay. So like foxes and wolves and dogs all have some things in common. They're quite similar. So when you make a very basic, like this, it could be a wolf, it could be a fox, it could be a dog. You can add a second hand to it to make another ear, give it a bit more detail, and then also a little bit of extra to the mouth. You see my two little fingers are actually together to make the mouth, and then it gets a little tongue like that. So I use variations of this when I'm performing. The wolf might be like this, and there's a little rabbit, and then maybe the wolf is more full, and then he's got two ears. So there's another cool way to make a wolf is to cross your little finger over your ring finger and your index over your middle to make a mouth, and then you hold on to the hand like this and poke the thumbs back. My thumbs are a little bit extra bendy, and you got a wolf with an eye like that. I quite like this character. I don't really use him ever, but he's quite fun. I did two projects last year that involved foxes. One with a whole lot of children and one with an opera singer. Well, both with opera singers, actually, one with a whole lot of children. So this is how I make a kind of a fox, a very simple fox where you have the whole animal. And I owe this one partly to my friends in Georgia, Budragana Gagra. They make a fox that looks a little bit like this. Probably they do it a little bit differently, but like this. So this is not such a difficult shape. Some people interpret this as a mouth, which I guess it could be. I think it's the front leg of the fox, but okay, it's how you're visually seeing things, and that's important. Then the tail of the fox, a little bit like the shark's head, actually, your fingers are flat, goes on the back like that. So it makes the fox's tail, something like that. You can use the wrists as legs as well if you kind of feel that makes more sense, like that. And then the fox can turn around. Well, now he's looking a bit mean, but you can see that kind of shape. I'm just going to do that a little bit, make the nose a bit more like that. I did make, when I started out, and there were so few videos and so few people to help me, I would just play with how can I make this particular shape? And I made a fox that looked like this. So yeah, it's kind of facing backwards. It's very different to the other shadows I showed you. It's got very fox-like ears, little finger, index finger, or pointer finger, whatever you call it, and then the fingers all together to make the nose, and one hand to make it look like the fox is sitting up and just looking like that. So yeah, there's quite a few ways. It's always about looking at what does the animal look like and what do I need to show the audience. Somebody's asked about a duck. Okay, yeah, this is not so difficult. So there's a big joke in my show about the rabbit because some children especially see this as a duck, And you think, okay, the thing is the rabbit, when a rabbit's like this, its ears are pointing upwards, and a duck, this means the duck is lying on its back. But if you flip it around, you've got a duck. A very simple duck. Although actually the rabbit shape is a little bit challenging to make well like that. Yeah, that's how I make it. You can see it's pretty complicated. Good. I'm glad that the fox helped you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I do speak quite a few languages, but unfortunately Cyrillic, I can't really read it. So yeah, but I developed another way to make a duck, which I use in a lot of my shows because I really like it. It's really sweet. There's a technique which I learned again from Prasanna Rao, who wasn't alive when I learned, but I sort of picked it up from looking at his books and his videos, where you put little finger and thumb together like this. Now, the tricky thing here is you have to be able to, in a way, push your thumb up towards the index finger. That helps. I don't know if it's completely necessary, but you have to do that. And then you can make everything from the bear that Buddhagana Gagra do, like this, is how I use the shape, to faces. I use this quite a lot to make various different shaped faces. You can see it makes a very nice chin and mouth, and you can also make like a double chin like that. You can change the shape of it very easily just by moving the thumb, which you can see there. So that's very useful. But the duck takes that and varies it. So actually I'm putting my thumb, instead of at the end of the little finger on the tip, I'm putting it against the knuckle. So what happens is it makes it a little bit of a beak like that, which is actually quite movable because you can just wiggle the thumb up and down. And the little finger, which is the end of the beak, so the thumb starts there, the little finger's there. It's got a beautiful curve. And then the body of the duck is like that. That's very sweet. You could do the body of the duck like this as well and give it a little wing. That's also kind of fun. But in general, I do it like that because I often have the duck. So the duck actually, just lean down a bit here, the duck actually floats on the water and then it dips its head like ducks do, and then it comes up, and sometimes I turn it into a swan like that. So I have a lot of fun. Now, somebody's asked about a red panda. Okay, now you're challenging me. Yeah, I'm just replying to Zenik. You're actually trying to make these hand signs and suffering a lot. Yeah, you shouldn't be suffering too much, but if you are, don't do too much work with it, because you're developing all the muscles along your arms into the tendons in your fingers, and that takes time to develop the flexibility and the strength. So something to do if your hands are getting tired is take a break, drink some water is always good. Remember to breathe, and also just shake your hands. Shake them up, shake them down, shake them to the sides. Breath is connected very closely with your nervous system. So I've got a shadow I make in the show I'm doing at the moment, which looks simple, but it's incredibly difficult because I've got to make it. It's a little man with a hat, tiny little character with a hat. I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to hold it, and he beckons to a lady, and she comes on stage, and there they are together, and she beckons to him, and he comes to her, and I've got to hold that, and then they put their hands together and they sing, and he leans back, and there is a point when I have to actually breathe to keep the shape there, otherwise my fingers start to sort of wobble. Yeah, so the technique really comes in then. My hands are not made of elastic. This is all just training. It's pure training over years and years. So one exercise which is great, which you use for things like the elephant's trunk, like this, is to put your hands on something flat. Again, I'm going to use this handy cushion. You put your hands on something flat, and first you lift just the knuckles at the ends of the fingers, then you lift the knuckles in the middle, and then you go flat. Knuckles, knuckles, flat. And eventually you develop that movement. You can do that flow, which is very useful for everything from making the water. When I made the shark, it's that water, to making birds' wings flapping, to even like the simple stuff that I teach kids, like the butterfly. They all want to kind of go like this, but that's very tiring for the hands, and it doesn't look so good in the shadow. It kind of works, but it's much better to think of something more stylized and just roll the fingers to suggest the butterfly is flying. I'm going back to the red panda. I'm not going to let that one go. Who asked for the red panda? Zenik. Yeah, so I have seen red pandas in zoos, actually, and they're kind of They're about this big. They're not huge. I'm going to just Google a picture of one. I'm still thinking about Pikachu as well, incidentally. Somebody asked for a Pikachu. Red panda, species mammal. Oh, they're very cute. If you don't know what they look like, Google them. They are very beautiful animals. Ah, they've got quite triangular ears. Okay, this is interesting. I almost think like normally with most animals, an eagle sitting on a rock. Okay, I'll think about that one. So the thing with if you're not sure what a red panda looks like, it's important to kind of fix in your mind what it looks like. Have a Google it, because it's not like a panda, like a black and white panda. It's quite a different animal. It's got quite triangular ears. So I think if I made a red panda, now usually most animals I would make in profile, so sideways, because you can see a lot of information about a character in profile, like the nose and the ear and so on and so on. But with the red panda, a bit like the koala bear, it's the shape of the ears. So I think it might be something. We're going back to the Pikachu. Might be something like I don't know, like making the triangular ears something that maybe the middle finger would do it, like that. I don't know. This is a very first draft. I'm going to have to think about that. Yeah. We have another look at the picture. Red panda. Okay, sideways. Maybe sideways. Okay, I will try it sideways, actually. So they've got a little, very small snout, like this, and then their little head on top, and then the little triangular ear, something like this. I mean, the danger with this is that it's going to end up looking something like a big cat. Because so I'm going to try and make the snout a little bit smaller, and also curve that head around a bit. Yeah, so that's not too far away. Maybe I can give it 2 triangular ears. Now it looks a bit like a cat. Yeah, that's not too far away. Yeah, okay. So let's think about the eagle for a second. So obviously there's a conventional way to make a flying bird, which a lot of kids go, oh, it's an eagle when I do that. And everybody can make this. It's not a difficult shadow, and it's using that rolling motion. You can make it fly around like that. But an eagle's head. So I have done this. I'm not always very happy with this shape, but it's something like, the eagle's head is something like this. Maybe we want to give it a slightly rounded top. Give it an eye. Something like that. It's funny. Zenek says the red panda kind of looks like a Mewtwo from Pokemon. So I accidentally. This sometimes happens that you accidentally make. You're trying to make something else, and you end up making a completely different shadow that actually works as something else. So that's quite funny that I might have made a Pokemon character. So that's our eagle's head with its beak. So the eagle's sitting on a rock. Let's think. So the eagles have big beaks. So let's start with a kind of beak like that, and its wing and its tail. I want to turn it around probably. I don't know. Is this saying eagle or is this saying something else? It's saying parrot. Something like that. I could probably do a better beak. Yeah. I don't know what's happening now. It's turned into a vulture. Vulture on a rock. Maybe the thumb sometimes make a very good beak, and if you can curl it around enough. One of my thumbs does something funny. It's got this real curve to it. The other one doesn't do that. You can see. Yeah, let's think about that red panda again. See how much work there goes into making these shadows and practicing. And when I get a shape that I like, okay, this is not quite there, but then I would get rid of it and I would make it again and see if I can get it. And that looks more like a red panda. It's starting to get there now. The thing with this is, though, like, many people are going to go down to the lowest common denominator of animals. So if you do something that's a little bit more sophisticated, like a red panda that people maybe don't know what it looks like, they're going to be seeing something, probably going to be seeing something different, unless you say this is a red panda and they know what a red panda looks like. So there's an animal that I make in my performances, which is it's a very simple one that everybody can do as well, where you put the two middle fingers on the thumb and you make an eye like this. Now, conventionally, people say that this is a deer. And you can also add a little body on like that. I don't know if you can see. Oh, yeah, you can see it like that. There's the deer's body. Let's move. Give myself a bit more space. So there's the deer's tail, like that. And they say it's a deer. But when I perform this for children, they often see, they say it's a rabbit. Okay, it's got two pointy ears. I get that they see it's a rabbit. It's not very rabbit-like, but okay. I've heard it called a llama or a giraffe, which again, it's got a long neck. That totally makes sense. But then I discovered people were seeing something different. When I do it like this with the two characters on a round screen, it starts to look like a face with two eyes. And yeah, it's kind of interesting that the perspective people have. So while I wait for more suggestions, I'm going to think a little bit more about this eagle sitting on a rock. Because I made a puffin. I made a puffin for a client. Puffins have got a very specific beak. So I had to think a lot about this shape, and it's not an easy one to do. And I had to kind of think about how to make the puffin's head with the beak, which was like that. So you can kind of see that curvy beak shape, and then give it a body like this, like it's floating on the water. Probably can't see that because my hand's in the way, or like where I held onto it to give it a body like that, so it looked like it was standing. Um, incredibly tough shape to make, actually, although it's very simple. It's got a wing like that. So I guess the eagle on the rock, yeah, you've got to be able to suggest that beak, but then also give it a body. So maybe it's a variation of the puffin. Let's think. Yeah, put the thumb there. Stick it out a bit. A little bit more. Fingers in. Okay, we've got a bit of a top to the head there. That's quite good. And then give it a body. I'll make it. He's sitting on the rock. I don't know. It's got the sort of hook of the eagle's beak without it being obviously an eagle. I think. Yeah, some variation of that is going to work for making the eagle on the rock. Yeah, Pokemon. Let's think about Pikachu again. So little ears. It's kind of a fun shape. It still looks like an owl to me, though. I'm just seeing owl. It's getting more and more like an owl everything I try. Oh, rhino shadow. Okay, yeah. So that's one of these things that I really struggled with was a rhino. There are lots of books that show you how to make a rhino, and it's kind of looks like that, which actually isn't so bad. In fact, when I look at it, I'm like, that's actually quite simple. Or maybe with two horns, because some rhinos have two horns and have one horn. Not quite sure what the difference is. But I found a way to make one which I like, and I do, and it's like this. You start with a very simple horse, this kind of shape, and then just by twisting the fingers, you get a kind of rhino with its ears and its mouth, its horn, like that. It works a little bit better because usually my light is in a slightly different position. But a rhino is a very, very distinctive animal, isn't it? Not many animals look like that. So yeah, let's go with that rhino, actually. I mean, they do have quite rectangular faces. I've seen rhinos in the wild. I grew up in South Africa, so yeah. But this is my rhino because I like the mouth shape and the ears, and yeah, it's a tricky one to make. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have another look at the red panda. See if I can get any more. Yeah, the nose is very small. It's almost like a cat. Yeah, okay. In fact, the red panda's nose is tiny, so I'm going to try and make it like that, and then do it like that. Try to get rid of the thumb here. Oh, there we go. That looks a bit more like a red panda. Proportions are right now. How about that? It's definitely got a feeling of a bear about it now, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, that's quite a nice bear head, actually. To the story of the three bears. Got a little mouth. I mean, I'm going back to your comment about the eagle on the rock. So when I make birds, obviously there's the conventional this way to make a bird, however you make the mouth like that. Then there's this way to make the bird, which I use quite a lot because it's got a lot of movement. It can turn um, around and then it can land on a branch like that. So sometimes when I make this, children say it's an eagle. I don't see an eagle myself, but they associate it with being an eagle. You can also do like this, give it a little branch to sit on, and then it can preen its feathers like this. Yeah, but it's a nice shape. Google Mewtwo. Okay, let me Google Mewtwo because that is one I definitely don't know. Mewtwo. Pokemon images. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a good shape. It looks quite angry. Mewtwo. All right. So the red panda looks like his head. Yeah, I kind of agree. Maybe the Mewtwo might look like something like this. When I make a cat, it's like this. So the cat. However, I use lots of different things to make the cat's body, and it's like this, or like this, or whatever. But yeah, the Mewtwo's got slightly smaller. So you reckon the red panda I was making looks a bit like a Mewtwo. It's possible to show once again how to make a horse's face. Yeah, okay. So this is a tough one. I have to say this is one of the most difficult shadows because I don't always get it exactly how I want it, and it's not. It's difficult to kind of get it from. I hate the word difficult. It's challenging to get it from looking not like a donkey, but the very basic shape that I teach people. The basic shape to start with is the hands flat together like this and making the ears. Now that is a very simple shadow. Anybody can make this, but then you twist the hands around like that. And this is, yeah, I mean, obviously because of the way the light is, it's not entirely as good as I would normally have it, but it's got a mouth, and you can play around with the shape of the nose a bit, the ears. Yeah, that's the horse's face. There is quite a good short tutorial on my channel about this particular shape, where it looks a bit better than this because I had a slightly. I'm just using my mobile phone torch now because I don't have equipment with me. So, I mean, a mobile phone light is great because it gives you such a good shadow even when you're really close to the light. Look at that big finger, big, big wolf. But yeah, this is an incredibly difficult shadow to make well and to make it really read as a horse. It's incredibly tough. It's using a lot of musculature in the hands like that. I mean, sometimes I do the ears forward, sometimes I do them back. Other people, there are variations on this. I've seen other people doing, I don't know, things like this with the horse, which is quite fun. It's not how I do it, but it's kind of interesting to see different people doing different things. It's quite a nice shape. Bit dog-like maybe. Yeah. Now it's a cow. I have a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm still thinking about this eagle on the rock and if I can do it better. I did make a crow. The crow had a beak like this, which is much more like a crow's beak. They have quite a big, thick beak. But yeah, there's got an eye. So yeah, the horse's face. I'll show you that again. I think that's quite interesting. It's worth doing. Is this hand is kind of going down like this to make the mouth. So the tips of the fingers is the bottom jaw. The thumb is the ear, obviously. This hand comes on top. Goes like that. And then you can see that just by angling how quickly the shape changes. I mean, there are certain things when I make my shadows that I'm always aiming to get in the shadow, and one of them is the horses. Horses have quite big sort of cheeks underneath, and so it's always kind of trying to get that shape into the shadow, which you can see underneath there, which is just the edge of the hand. Pikachu is based on an animal called Ocotona daurica. Is that an actual animal? I'm going to Google that now. I'm learning quite a lot tonight. Ocotona daurica. How did you spell that? Daurica. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, I can see that. It's kind of some kind of rodent, I guess. Some kind of little round mousy thing. And that's what Pikachu is based on. That's so cool. This little animal like this. Give him some legs. He doesn't have much of a face, this one. It's kind of a variation of the mouse that I make. Or the frog. I really like the frog, actually. It's a similar idea. So this is a frog sitting on a lily pad and it's croaking. Wait, let's get a little more space there. There we go. It's really cool. Just a little finger moving like that. I also don't use this shadow very often. It's funny how some shadows are just there and they're not kind of used. So you think you have a crow in your room, but it appears several times. And I would like to some other image of a crow. Can I try? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but I think you're sort of saying, can I make a different shadow of a crow? I mean, other than the one that I showed with the thumb as the beak, like this. I guess you could also make it fly, but it doesn't look like a crow when you make it fly. Actually, it looks like something else. I think maybe like that. So this is just basically a variation. That's quite a crow-shaped head, actually, I think. So sometimes it's just variation. So my usual bird would have a beak like this, which is the tip of the index finger. But switch it around like that and you get a different kind of it. Is it more seagull or is it more crow? I'm not sure. Can I turn it around? Oh, I kind of can. Yeah, there it is. Interesting. Yeah, I can make some animal sounds. some I'm really not very good at all. Yeah. Yeah. But I guess if you wanted to make just a crow's head, just the head, because a kid in the school the other day asked me about a flamingo, how to make a flamingo. So it would be something like that, but you want to get a really, really thin neck happening as well, because they have quite long necks like swans. Hello, Harry. I think you asked me this before, actually. This kind of makes this is kind of interesting. A scallop. I mean, I've eaten scallops. I don't know what they actually look like in the wild, so I'm going to just Google that. Oh, no. Scallop. I can imagine that's going to be a slightly tough one because, yeah, shells. Okay, so it's that, yeah, of course, it's that shell shape. So the scallop is in a kind of that typical fan-shaped shell. So probably I would do something for a scallop. I might make a shell, just trying to get a good shape going on here. The little finger's being a bit of a pain in this, though. It's not really working. There we go. That's it. So then it's finger, finger, finger. Get rid of the little finger. Curl it in. Ah, I need a little finger on this side. So I'm kind of trying to make a scallop shell shape. Something like that. I think it would kind of work. It could be a lot of things, though. That's not so easy to see. Starfish. Yeah, there was a way to make a starfish. How did I do this? I think I did it something like this. I don't think it's a great shadow. It's not going to be the great shadow of the century. It looks like a squirrel flying through the air or somebody doing aerobics. Maybe could do, oh yeah, something more like this, I think, would be better. And what's about, I'll try and make a starfish and end up making a Pikachu instead. That would probably happen. No, probably not. Okay, so yeah, so something like, I don't know. I'm just, the beautiful thing about shadows is because it's the hands are three-dimensional, the shadow is flat. As you shift things around, you start to find shapes that you didn't know were there. So this is almost a starfish. It's a slightly oddly shaped starfish, but it's close, I think. I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing there. I'm going to try Zenix Toucan. It looks like two reindeer. I don't know which part of that you saw that looked like two reindeer, but I can kind of, yeah, see that there was something there that might have looked like reindeer. So, so I'm going to try and do a toucan. Yeah, but a toucan beak is not the same as an eagle. I'm just going to look for an image very quickly. I mean, sometimes if I'm stuck with a shape, I will actually draw it as well, so my brain starts to understand the outline. Oh, and toucans are very distinctive. Yeah. It's kind of like a saber, actually, their beak. It's huge. Beautiful colors as well. Two reindeer back to back. And I'm just going to do that again just for the hell of it. Two reindeer back to back. It's funny. So the toucan, let's try the toucan. I mean, I'm not always going to succeed at trying these shadows. Of course I'm not, because move a little the middle fingers. Yeah. Actually, so I'm just going to go back to that. This is actually the two index fingers at the top. I think that's what you refer to as the middle fingers, yeah. And they don't bend. They don't bend down. I mean, I could twist it to make them shorter, but then we get a different shape from everybody else, if that makes sense. That's the thing. You can kind of turn something to make things like a shape like this. You can make it shorter just by twisting it, but then you run the risk of changing the shape. You got to compromise sometimes. Yeah, to kind of do that. So I'm going to go back to toucan. I'm fascinated by this now. So the toucan's beak is really long. Oh, I kind of want to do something like this. Like that maybe, and then the head. It's a weird kind of camel tortoise. I don't know. It's funny. Maybe like this. Yeah, let's go that one. And then just lift up the wrist. No, I don't think it looks like a toucan. A desert eagle. Yeah, probably. Coming full circle back to the eagle. It's funny. Yeah. It's fun to just make a shape and then move it around a bit and see what comes up when you start to turn and see what happens. Like this. I'm going to try and make the scallop again, because I think this is possible. I mean, if I made like a scallop shell, I could probably make it something like this, and then it opens up, and there's the scallop inside. How's that? That's not too bad. There's the scallop inside the shell. Who knows? I might put it in my underwater scene. But to do it flat on the scallop shell, okay. I was kind of playing with this shape, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one. Oh, this hand is it's not cooperating so much tonight. And then the little finger tucked in, just to support it. So I was playing with a scallop shell that looked like that. It kind of looks like a blob. Yeah, I think that scallop shell is a bit like the Little Mermaid. You're quite right, Marcus. Yeah, that's right. It's definitely got a bit of a shell-like shape to it. I'm quite pleased with that, actually. Yeah, there is a way to make the Little Mermaid face. I have played with this. It's not perfect, but you make the head, and then you make it's a little face, and you've got to make some hair. I won't use that finger. I should use those fingers. Some hair down the back. Ooh, something like that. A cartoon face. Maybe I can use a little finger for the hair. Yeah, there we go. Just broaden this out. Bring up the wrist to make the hair at the back. Yeah, I don't know if it's her brain. I think it might just be her hairstyle. Yeah, she's got a big forehead. It's true. A bit like me. Yeah. Speaking of being under the sea, let's try and do the starfish. The backwards, the reindeer's back to back again. Yeah, okay. Guess I'm kind of trying to get rid of that gap. Oh, Myrna, you asked for I beg your pardon, you asked for a puppy. Sorry, I did see that, and then I got sort of stuck into all these different ideas. Yeah, funny, a kid asked me last week about a puppy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends on the kind of dog, because dogs come in such different shapes. Like cats are pretty similar, except for like longer hair, shorter hair. But dogs have so many. So you've got like a boxer that is kind of a little dog like this, and then you've got sort of a dog with a longer snout, like an Alsatian. Um, oh, sorry about that, Marcus. Yeah, I'm not sure. The signal seems to be good on my side. And then, like, I made a dachshund, sausage dog recently for a client, and Um, I made its little head like this. I did find a way to make the ear really stick out like that, because their ears hang down, not up. They don't sort of stick up their ears really, and their little body like this. I don't think you can completely see that, but that's the dachshund. A little ear hanging down. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Just turn the handle, but its little mouth and its little legs at the front, like that. Puppy is shaved. Hot dog, yeah, exactly. Yeah, sausage dog. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, when I make my dog in my show, he's usually like this. Um, and then when he turns around and he's surprised, he's like this. So you can see I'm switching my hands when I do that. So when he faces me and he sticks his tongue in my ear, he does it like this. But then when he turns around to chase the cat, he's like this, surprised. And you can give them different kinds of teeth just on the tips of the fingers there and all that sort of thing. What are you scared of, Marcus? The dog? Or is it the dog's expression is I'm scared? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like that. So there's a puppy with a spider. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's quite scary. Spider mouth. Yeah, I wonder if there's another way to. I'm thinking about this starfish. I'm going to make a banana now. It's quite fun. How do you make two faces at the same time? Your face is it? How do I make two faces at the same time? Your face and towards your face. Okay, so I don't know that anybody else does this actually. This is something that I might have pioneered because I wanted to make a drama and story. And when you're just making like one shape, okay, that's very nice and whatever, but actually there's not a lot of story that you can tell with that. Ultimately, you make a rabbit and you make a giraffe or whatever you do, that's nice, but you can't really do that for a long time before people get bored. So the way that I make the shadow face facing me, so obviously my profile would be there. Take my glasses off for a second so you can see that really clearly. And then the other face is there like that. And that's how I do it. I mean, usually, like you see the back of the head there is not complete. Usually that would be off frame. So you just see, literally just see that. Yeah, like that. And then the mouth is there and the tongue like that. And the nose. It's really quite simple. But yeah, it relies on your arms being able to really stretch like this. I do another much more difficult version of this in the show that I'm doing now. Actually, it's been something I've been training to do actually for years. There's a lady, and she looks like that, and she's singing, and then the man is singing, and then the lady's singing, and the man is singing, and the lady's singing, and then I become the man. So I have a hat on like the man shadow, and I'm singing behind her, and we're both singing, and then she turns around, and there she is, and that is incredibly difficult to do. And then she's got to sing without, you see that gap that's appearing in her face? She's got to be able to sing without that gap appearing. It's wow, super difficult. Happy birthday. I'm not sure whose birthday is it. Is it your birthday? It's not my birthday. Yeah, so there are two different ways that I make that face facing me. So this one is simpler, but it's pretty effective. You can also, I mean, normally when he sticks his tongue out at me, he comes on stage, and then you see him like this. Open like that. So what you've got to practice is these knuckles, doing this. So you can do it with both hands. So you get that mouth. It is sometimes when my hands are a bit tired. This is a slightly tough one to do, is to just open those fingers to make the mouth. Because I do also make faces that come from this side as well. Sometimes. The shape. Oh, I see. I got it now, Marcus. What you're saying is happy birthday. The tongue, yeah, it's like a party blower, is what you're saying, like that. Yeah, good idea. That thing that you, yeah, party blower. Yeah. So this is a very simple way where there's a lot of a fist involved. It's kind of like simple making simple faces like this. But it's that technique of being able to do that and keeping the other two fingers together. So one way that I train that is to just do this, like a Vulcan salute, but you just practice open, like scissor your hands, and then you close it and you carry on doing a similar movement. But now your fingers are closed like that. So the lady who turns around, who's much more difficult. I mean, this takes it's a lot of practice. She's like that, and then she turns around and she's like that. And then I've got to really tilt her head. And obviously the rest of my hand is actually off screen like that, if you imagine. So she's singing like that. And sometimes the little gap still appears, you can see that there. Yeah, that is phenomenally difficult to do. Well, it's difficult, but you just practice until you get it right. Yeah. And sometimes she's not quite so pretty. Sometimes she turns out a little bit quite like that, with this weird eyebrow and all this stuff going on. You can give her different hairstyles. What did I do? It's a lady I made for a wedding, and she looked like that. She had her hair up at the top. Yeah. But it's kind of fun. I'm working with some live opera singers at the moment, and they're singing a duet. And it's quite fun playing when the singer does a bit of vibrato, like that. The audience really enjoys it. And then in the same routine, I end up with this very difficult little shadow, the little man, so the man in the hat, when he's fully looks like that, and then he comes down to that. And then the two of them meet, and they fall in love, and the inevitable thing happens, and then ding. Snakehead. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, actually. You're talking about the lady with all her hair up on top. So she's got some snakes in her hair. Oh, she's turning into a devil. It's interesting, people making sort of devils. So this is one way that I do. I quite like this. He's got a nice little eyebrow there, and the horns are at the back of the little ear, and then obviously the beard in the mouth. But some people do it a little bit differently. They do it like this. I have also done it this way. This is kind of, a lot of the French performers seem to do it like this, actually. Like that. Octopus man. Octopus man. Here's an octopus. I really like the octopus. It's really good. A person with a hat. Yeah. I mean, people with hats, if you've got someone with hair, okay, you've got someone with hair like that. You can do different hairstyles. You can make them have no hair, like this as well. It's all possible. But you can make like a baseball cap. Oh, that's quite nice. I quite like that, actually. Make the brim a little bit shorter. There was a guy. Well, how was the guy that I used to make? Yeah, this guy. I made him from the opposite side. He's quite fun. Good to sing. You've got a little jaw like that and a kind of a baseball cap on. But the hands it's kind of a weird position because you put this hand over the top, and then the thumb on the right hand makes a nose. A monkey with a hat. Is that a question, or was that an observation? That the thing that I made looked like a monkey with a hat? I'm not sure. So this is the sort of standard way to make a hand shadow monkey. People do other things, but yeah, like that. You get a really beautiful shape from your hand when you twist it backwards, like the neck and the body. It's a really lovely shape like this. You can get the little tail like that. Give them two hands. A bird carrier. Where's a bird carrier? Which one? This one? Oh, that's a completely different hat shape. I'm not sure what a bird carrier is beyond the obvious, like carrying a bird. I don't know what that is. That's a big neck. Yeah, he's obviously very muscly. So, so, I think again, this is a kind of character that I would kind of perform like right at the edge of the screen, so you wouldn't see so much of the arms, because so much of what happened, because obviously we've got wrists attached to the shadow. Some things can really lose their context. I'll show you like the running tiger, if I make it, or the running. It's a big cat of some kind anyway, whatever it is. Um, so if you make it like that, if you look at that, you might not immediately see that it's a running tiger. But if you give it a context, I'll use this handy cushion again. You get this. You start to see. Oh, it's an animal standing there, and there's its face and its ears and there's its mouth, and then it's running like this. Um, Without that, you don't get the context. A cat with a hat. A cat with a hat. Okay. When I started, the first shadow I made that made me realize I wanted to make shadows actually was a cat, but it wasn't the conventional way that people make cats, which is usually like this or like this. It was because I was inventing it myself. I made this little head like this, very pointy ears. It had a back leg. Ooh, I can almost not do it like this. And then it was licking its paw. And I was very excited by the animation possibility. So that's why I started making shadows. So cats are very important to me. Here is a cat wearing a hat. Wait, hang on. I'll give it a little. There we go. A cat wearing a hat. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful and fun. I'm having a lot of fun actually, so it's been great having company, because when you're traveling and performing like I do, you often spend a lot of time alone. It's quite boring. So actually, I thought I'm going to do a live, and I've got a night off. I've got 3 nights off now. The show's not on, so yeah. Um, you wish your cat looked so charming, Marcus. Yeah, I mean it's all about just playing with that shape, because obviously the knuckles are bumps in the middle. Cats do actually sometimes have a little bit of a frown on top of their head, because I've had a lot of cats and I know how they behave. So it's just kind of playing with that. What you've got to do is put your thumb inside. I put it against the index finger there. And sometimes, this is a new thing that I haven't seen people do, I put the thumb on the other side so the cat can turn to look. So however it is, it's like that. Normally I use it kind of more like the cat is sitting and the cat turns to look like that. Yeah. Make a dolphin. Okay, so I don't know if you were here, Harry, when I started this. I was doing a shark. Somebody asked about a shark. So my conventional way to make fish tails is like this. It's not always completely accurate to the fish, but it's got a good movement. And that's what's important to me about the fish tail. So that's what I do. And the shark head is then like this. And that's a shark with its fin and its head and its tail. So a dolphin is just a variation of that. I'm now not going to do it very well. There we go. That's it. Dolphins like that. Because dolphins have a kind of pointy, they call it a beak, actually, the thing at the front. So that's the dolphin. And I make the dolphin quite playful when I make it. Little son and mother together. Myrtle asks. Myrtle, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. It's Myrtle, isn't it? Yeah. We've been friends for years, actually, since the pandemic. Yeah. Baby dolphin. Baby. It's a baby dolphin, yeah. So a mother and a child together. So the trick with the mother. So this is how I usually make female character, when I make it with one hand, I try to give her quite a little face and a little bit of hair at the back like that, and a little bit of a curve on her shoulder. Then the baby I would make very much smaller. It's a little difficult. Actually, I'm going to try and do it the other way around. I'm going to try and do it with this hand as the mother. Here's the mother. Okay, so she's a little bit of a different shape. And then here's the baby. Let's give the baby a little nose. There's the baby. I'm just going to pick up the baby. Like that. Hold it to. Oh, so sweet. Maybe she's going to carry the baby on her back. Yeah, there we go. Some people do in some cultures, they have a little thing on their back. In Britain, people tend to, if they do that, they carry the baby on their front, actually, they've got a little thing. But I know in Africa, for example, they carry the baby sometimes on their back, wrapped in a cloth or a blanket. Like a dolphin did that, mother and baby. So the trick with the mother and the baby is that the mother shadow is closer to the light, this hand, and the baby shadow is further away, so it looks smaller. That's using the science and technology of light and shadow to make the shadows like that. There's lots of fun that can be had with that. Mirror, mirror, who is the most beautiful mirror in the country? Which one are you talking about? The two faces? Yeah. Gorilla. Yeah, okay. Like the mother looked in a mirror, I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get that. So the gorilla, I'm never really happy with my gorilla when I make it this way. Some people make really great gorillas. I don't make it so good, this one. But the gorilla face is kind of like this somehow. But what I found was if I switch it around and I do it backwards, my gorilla is much more interesting. So I do King Kong actually in my film tribute, and he's got like an eyebrow that can lift, because monkeys and apes and gorillas use a lot of this eyebrow thing to express themselves. They do a lot of this, which obviously communicates to their fellow creatures, and then that's my gorilla like that with his mouth. And it's got quite a nice gorilla head shape as well. It's a variation on this guy with the cap. Thank you. I try. I mean, I don't always get it right, obviously. And if I've made the shadow before, that's fine. But if I haven't, it's kind of... Oh, I see. Now I get it, Marcus. What you're saying about the lady is that she looks like she's looking like she's holding a mirror. That's what you mean? Oh, sending love back to India. I haven't been back to India for quite a few years now, but I did perform in India quite a lot pre-pandemic. It looks like she's looking in a mirror. Let's see if we can make like a mirror image. It's tricky because the two hands are doing slightly different things, but yeah. Almost. Ooh. And then my hands get quite tired doing that. Head, but can you make an elephant with the body, head, and legs? Harry has asked, yeah. So, yeah, the elephant head. Well, there are a lot of different ways to make elephant heads. This is how I make my elephant head, though. I'm not doing such a great trunk tonight. It's getting a bit thick, but that's how I do it. And then sometimes I turn it over like this. It's pretty challenging to keep the trunk one thickness and not to end up with something like that, I have to say. It is pretty challenging. So the full elephant, yeah, I can actually do this. I'm just giving my hand a little bit of a break because it's had a bit of a workout, which is good. And we're going to do a dinosaur next for Deep Handare. I'm going to use the handy cushion because this one relies a little bit on context. This one, there's the elephant, full elephant with the body, and the little ear is the thumb at the back. I might just turn that a bit. There we go. And the trunk is the trunk and the leg like that. You could probably add, if you want to, another leg or make a bigger ear with the other hand, something like that. How's that? But yeah, normally I do this elephant and then there's a little person who gets on the back to ride. I'll make the elephant a bit bigger. There we go. Yeah, and there's the elephant. Single-handed elephant. Yeah, a very simple one. Dinosaur. So I get asked for dinosaurs a lot from children, obviously, because they love dinosaurs. It's a thing. So I make a T-Rex, and it's because that's probably the most famous dinosaur. Take the elephant head, use the trunk to make crocodile. Okay, Marcus, I'll try that. But I can also make lots of different versions of crocodile. So here's the T-Rex's head, and there's its mouth, little finger. And these fingers go on the back of this hand, and this one comes forward, and there's your T-Rex. I normally make it walk by moving my wrists back and forward, so it looks like it's got big legs and the tiny little front forelegs of the T-Rex, which we know that they had. And then it goes stomping through. And if I make Godzilla, I kind of make a little bit more of the back spikes, because Godzilla has those spikes. A crocodile. Okay, so the very simplest way to make crocodile is put the hands like this, flat, and do that. I like to do that because it makes a sound and it's funny with an audience. Yeah, Godzilla, exactly, Godzilla. So I have a little scene that I do in one of my shows where there's a little person and he's in a boat, and then the boat sinks and he's in the water, and he starts to swim, sploosh, 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 sploosh. He's swimming, and then a shark comes, and then he swims away from the shark, and then a crocodile appears. So the crocodile is just like that. That's the way I make it. It's single-handed crocodile. I think there are. When I did a thing in the school last week in Birmingham in the UK, and I was making the crocodile. And they said, "Can you do it with teeth?" So you can, if you just. And this is also slightly challenging, is to kind of keep those hands flat, but just bring in the fingertips to make teeth like that. And we're kind of back to our scallop shell again. With one swift move, there's our scallop shell with the scallop inside. Yeah, similar sort of thing. Okay, so where am I from? I'm from. I've lived in lots of places. I'm from the northeast of England, which is close to Scotland. I was born there. I was 8 years old when we left, and we moved to South Africa. So I lived in Southern Africa, in Namibia, and South Africa. So I grew up there. So my accent is more typically South African than it is British. And then I moved back to Britain 24 years ago, and I live now on the south coast, about an hour and a half away from London, the capital. I live right by the sea. What does ASEL look like? ASEL. I'm not sure what that is. Is that going to be something I have to Google now? Probably. I don't know what that is. ASEL. Okay, I'm not sure what ASEL is. You might have to kind of. Oh, a donkey. Earsel. Yeah, we say that in Afrikaans. It's an earsel. It looks like a Komodo dragon. Good. I'm not sure what looked like a Komodo dragon, but I'm very happy. I have to go back to Harry Petley's comment. Try making a zebra. I really like this one. Thanks, Harry. The thing with zebras that makes them distinct is their markings, their pattern. Just like tigers to an extent, and to pandas and leopards and cheetahs, they have markings. So to make a zebra is a little bit. There is a video somewhere on my YouTube channel where I attempted to put a pattern onto a shadow, and was playing with that idea, and it wasn't completely successful, but it was a kind of idea. So if I was to make a zebra, I'd probably just make some kind of a horse, and say it's a zebra. Ta-da! What does it look like? A donkey? Oh, a donkey. So okay, so the donkey is similar to the horse, but I would actually give it bigger ears and probably a bigger snout as well. Something like this, similar to the horse. The horse I tend to bend the ears back a little bit. The donkey I kind of stick the thumbs up, if that makes sense. To make a donkey like that. give it much bigger ears. Yeah, something like that. Marcus is in Europe. That's good. I'm actually not in England now. I'm in Cologne in Germany because I'm working here at the moment. No, I'm not from Leeds, Sarah. I'm actually from Gateshead, Newcastle. So much further north than Leeds. Leeds is in Yorkshire, and yeah, it's not far from Manchester and Halifax. My father used to go and work actually in Leeds. So Leeds it's not that far away, but yeah, he used to go and work during the week. Oh, I see the last crocodile shape, Marcus. So this one where I put the teeth in could be a Komodo dragon. Great. I'm not clear what a Komodo dragon looks like. Oh, great. Okay, so Sarah's asked, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Sarah, for a koala, which is a bit like what I was talking about with the red panda at the beginning of the session. So if you didn't see this, we were trying to make a red panda. And I was Googling, of course, because I needed to think about the image. I was trying to make a red panda. And I thought about doing front ways on. Now, koala bear from the side doesn't look very interesting, but we think about those round ears. This is how I made a koala. It's not perfect, but I was asked by a child during the pandemic to make a koala bear, and it was something like this. And the face is not, there we go, that's it. Something like that with the two round ears. Obviously, I can't get completely round ears because we're dealing with kind of the edges of fingers. But if you just curve them in a bit, it's like a little koala bear. Something like that. Yeah. A kangaroo, yes, I can do a kangaroo. I invented a lot of ways to make kangaroos that nobody had done before. So the basic kangaroo head shape is like this. I mean, I think usually kangaroo ears, to be honest, actually go back. But okay, you're dealing with hands. There's certain things you can and can't do. Okay, gonna give it a bit of So here's the kangaroo, and she's jumping through the outback, and she turns around and she scratches her nose, and she does a bit of dancing, the funky dancing, like this. And then she sits down. And sometimes, actually, in the show that I'm doing now, there are two kangaroos who do a bit of boxing. Like in a circus, an old school circus boxing, and then the kangaroo sits down and out comes her baby, like that. And again, going back to what Myrnal was asking about the mother and the baby, this is a kind of similar idea. The mother kangaroo is big and the baby pops out and it's small, like that. People love that, it's very sweet. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's I don't really use the koala. It's just during the pandemic, I had a lot of time like this, where I would think about what shapes can I make and how can I suggest them, and something's happening in my hands there. What is that? I'm just seeing another little creature. It could be our little red panda there. Look at that. Oh, somebody asked about an otter. I did spot that. I just missed. I'm not sure it was back in the chat. I think you'd make an otter something like this. And I think a beaver has a flat tail, and an otter has a long tail. So I might make the otter. They don't really have big ears. Something like this. Yeah. With the thumb as the front leg. I have to work on that shape a bit, but yeah, otter would be something like that. A poodle. Okay. I can make a shark. I'll do it again for you, Marcus, because I did it earlier in the evening. A poodle. I'm just trying to think for a moment about a poodle. Because probably something like that. Give it a bit of a hairstyle, and let's give it an eye as well, actually. Maybe we'll give it, a hairdo like that. Poodle. Actually, sometimes poodles have quite slopey noses, or do we prefer it with an eye? Oh, somebody's coming in with, hi, Pradoot. Coming in with lots of suggestions. Okay, so that was kind of a poodle. I mean, they do have different kind of hairstyles and things, don't they, poodles? So this one's just got a lot of hair on top. Snake. Okay, I'll do snake and shark, and yeah, okay. So this is the way I usually make my snake in the show. The thumb is tucked away, and there's the snake's head, and then it just goes like, it's a lot about the movement of the snake and turning like that. You can also make like a cobra with teeth, like that. I don't really use that particular snake at all. The second dog from my subscribers video. I think you mean this dog. You mean this dog, or you mean the other dog? It's got a little tail. You can't really see the tail, but yeah, it's like that, basically. Is it that dog or is it the other dog? Yeah, okay, it's like that. Yeah. My friends in Georgia who make shadows, they do something a little bit different with this dog. They don't give it an eye the way I do, but it's variations like that. Dog, mice, dog, shark. I'll show you the shark again. So here's our water. Water's like that, and then the shark fin comes up and goes do 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 do. Then in my performance, the shark turns around and comes back. So I switch hands, but the shark's body, the fish tail that I showed you, and the shark's body is like that. And that's what it looks like, roughly. Yeah, something like that. So mice. This is how I make a mouse, like that. If you've got a little bit of wire or a bit of string, you can hold it in your hand and you can make a tail, which is quite nice. Or you can just use a finger, and the mouse can be eating something, like that. Yeah. You can't wait when you get your credit card. Kraken and an octopus. What's the difference between kraken and an octopus? I know what a kraken is, but I can't really understand what it looks like. So I'm just going to use our good friend Google. Yeah, okay, so it's kind of like a giant squid. Krakens. So I think probably what I would do is a different. So the octopus has got the kind of eyes and the rounded head, like that, right? I would probably make the kraken more like a squid. So give it quite a pointy head and the legs like that, just to give it a different shape. Yeah, so somebody asked about a rabbit. Make a rabbit. Okay, so this is easy because, yeah, this is the rabbit's head, like that, and then the legs going like that. I mean, different people do very different things with the rabbit. Some people make they make a rabbit something like, I don't know how they do it exactly, something like this. Yeah, something like that. I don't do it like that. I do it like this, and I use normally these fingers to make the legs. Sometimes I change that though, so the little tail, and it cleans its ear, and sometimes I change the fingers I use depending what I need the rabbit to be able to do, if it's running or whatever. There are lots of different ways to make the rabbit, and also the rabbit can turn around, and then there can be two rabbits. And yeah, that's right. We have an NPC among us. I'm not sure what an NPC is. You might have to explain that to me. Tree. Okay, yeah, tree. Let's try and make a tree. So let's try something like a pine tree. So this is kind of a pagoda. I'm going to droop all the leaves and see if we can make it into a tree. Something like that. Yeah, probably pine tree. You can make tree branches. Put some leaves across the top like that. Maybe the tree's got no branches, it's just a bare tree. Or, let's see, a palm tree. A couple of trees. This is a good question, Nomad. So I'll come back to the shadow ghost. I've seen that one now. Does the light always come from the same angle for you, from left shoulder? Do you ever turn and face from the opposite direction? No, I don't turn and face from the opposite direction because I could probably do certain things from the opposite direction, but in general, things are trained in a certain way. So yes, it always comes from my left shoulder. The light, my mobile phone light is just over here. I just find that that's the best way for me to work. And when you start to put the light in different places, you start to get different things happening with the shadows. So I'll give you an example. I'll make the kangaroo might not be a good example, but you can see You see how the shape is changing as I move the light around. So yeah, it's best to always have the light in one place. Some people work with the light down on the floor and then they work upwards, so you get slightly longer shadow that way. My shadow is slightly longer that way, which I'm quite used to. I need that for things like the galloping horse, stuff like this. I kind of need that length going that way. So yeah. Okay, somebody wants me to make a shadow of a ghost, and they've said that you don't need to see the ghost shadow because it can't be seen. So, shadow and ghost. I don't know. What would the ghost look like? What kind of ghost is it? Is it a headless person? Headless person ghost? Just a ghost in a sheet? Like the kind of standard ghost? Ooh. Maybe it's got a face. I don't know. Something like this. I'm not sure what I'm making now. It's a strange shadow ghost. Your country name is India. Mine is England. I'm getting a lot of repeats now on the chat for some reason. I don't know quite why. Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to Bangladesh. I've been to India. I've been to India 5 times. I've been to Delhi, Chandigarh, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Mysuru, Agra, Jaipur. Yeah. And performed in most of those places as well. Yeah. Ghost shadow. Yeah, possibly. I think so. I put a moderation thing on though, so hopefully that fixes that problem. I have made ghost shadows actually. The funny thing about ghost shadows is when I do it, it's in a story that I tell. It's a poem actually, and in the final bit of the poem, the characters are all ghosts, and one of them is a highwayman riding on his horse, and one of them is the lady he's in love with. And what I do to tell that bit of the story is I put a piece of almost clear plastic over the light. So it changes the light. If you can imagine, I'm going to use my glass of water just to show it. If you put something over the light, it changes the quality of the light, and then you can make kind of slightly ghostly shadows. So there you go. There's a shadow ghost. Like that. Yeah. Sort of diffuses the best rock shadow. You mean like rock, like rock music, or you mean like a rock, like somebody dancing to rock music, or a rock? Let's make a rock. Okay, there, a rock shadow, cow shadow. That's how I make a cow. Some people would probably do it a little bit differently. There's a very simple way you can make a cow like that. Quite a nice cow, very simple one. What kind of light do I use? So I am currently using my mobile phone light because it's a very small bulb and it's all I have with me actually at the moment. And it makes a very good sharp shadow even when you're close to the light and it's not too hot. I can touch it, of course, it's not hot. But when I'm performing, I use lots of different lights. So I've got LED Lensa torches. Sometimes my main light is actually not an LED torch. It's a halogen dado light, but all of the lenses and reflectors are removed, so it's just the bulb. It's a very good piece of equipment. They're a great company, so that gives quite a. If you look at most of the videos, most of my recent videos, anyway, some of the older ones with different lights, but most of the recent videos are made with the dado light. We're getting somebody repeating quite a lot here. Okay. A grandmother shadow. Okay, so a grandmother shadow. Let's think about a face of the grandmother. I'm going to make her nose like that, and a bit of a chin, and give her a little bun on her head, something like that. Grandmother shadow. It's all right. I'll just put the repeating messages on timeout. This is kind of new to me. I haven't done a lot of live, so it's kind of interesting to see what happens. Yeah, a little hairstyle like that. Maybe she has a little bun at the back there. There we go. She's got no teeth. She's chewing her gums. Oh, you asked for an anteater earlier. Sorry, Harry, I missed that one. There was quite a flow of messages. Yeah, something like this. Sucking up the ants. Maybe it's got two little ears. Let's give it two ears just for a bit of detail. There. How's that? Anteater. It's a little bit like the elephant, to be honest, but of course it doesn't have tusks. Yeah. Marcus is saying the wolf is the grandma. The wolf. Are you asking me for the wolf to eat the grandma? Is that what you're asking for? Or is it just that the wolf is the grandma? Let's make a wolf into the grandmother. Red Riding Hood. So here we go. Now she's turning into the grandma. Ta-da! Oh, I see. The plot twist: the wolf is the grandma. Yeah, I'm back to the wolf again. Yeah, it's quite a friendly-looking wolf, actually. Can I do a unicorn? Yes. And this is interesting because when I teach kids and I teach them a very simple horse, it's a very simple shape to make, and it goes bing, and it's a unicorn. It's not a particularly. I wonder if I could turn my. I'm just going to think about turning my horse, a more complicated horse, into a unicorn. Wow, it's possible. Well, thanks for that, Sarah. I've never tried that before. It's quite a nice unicorn. Yeah. Okay. But the simple way is to make this shape, and then when you want to get more complicated, it's to make the horse's head. Hang up the finger to make the unicorn head like that. Oh, is your daughter watching also? That's cool. Yeah. Lots of kids love dinosaurs, and unicorns are very popular with children, of course. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I've never tried it, but it works quite well. Thank you for that. I could feel a new video with mythical shadow creatures. Yeah, possibly. So, yeah, let's talk about mythical shadow creatures. So, there's a thing called a hippogriff, which if you read Harry Potter, you know what that is. But some people, I had to look up exactly what it was. It's a creature that's part eagle and part horse. So when I make my hippogriff, it looks like this. This is the wing, and this is the horse. Haven't done the wing quite so well, but yeah, I need to turn it a little bit more. That's it. And that's the hippogriff riding through the air with its wing, like that. Try a fairy. Yeah, fairies, because fairies would be a very, very small person with a wing. I don't think they work quite so well. I mean, I have been asked to do like things like this. Here's our lady looking in the mirror. She's got a wing. Well, she's a fairy. There we go. She's some kind of mythical creature. I don't know what she is. She could be like that. Like a Pegasus. Yeah, it does look like a Pegasus. It's true. Because actually, the hippogriff has, going back to our eagle much earlier on, the hippogriff has an eagle's head and then a horse's body. So, the horse's body, and then the wings of an eagle as well. Recreate the boy who cried wolf. I haven't done this story for years and years. So, there's a wolf. There's no wolf. Be quiet. There's a wolf. There's no wolf. Be quiet. There's a wolf. There's a wolf. There's a wolf. Psst. There's a wolf. Psst. I can't really do it with this light in this position, but yeah, that's that's the boy who cried wolf. I haven't done that little routine for years. What other mythical creatures can we have? I've tried mermaids as well. I'm just going to give it a go again. I'm never too pleased with the mermaid, but she could look something like this. Mermaid. I wonder if a butterfly could work. How do you mean? Like, because this is a simple butterfly. There's a more complicated way to make a butterfly. You do it like that. A phoenix. Snake with his sang. Snake with his tongue? Is that what you mean? Oh, Selkie. Oh, nice one. Wow. A snake with his tongue. I mean, I've seen people do a thing where they have a little piece of cut paper and they hold it between their fingers to make the snake's tongue. So you could do that. Phoenix. What does a phoenix look like? It's kind of like an eagle, I'm guessing, but it's phoenix. So it might just look like a image. No, not Phoenix, Arizona. There we go. Oh, right. Okay. It's got like a fiery crest on its head. I'm getting a sense that we might need to make the phoenix something like the peacock, something like this. Phoenix. So a selkie is like a mermaid, isn't it? It's a seal that turns into a lady. So my seal. Let's see if I remember how to do this. My seal looked something like this. That's my seal with this little flippers, and then it turns into a lady. Oh, okay. Oh, it's coming to me. How do I do this? I haven't done this character for a while. That was quite funny. I don't know who that was. No, she's like this. That's how I make the lady like that. Yeah. So the seal. Let me go back on that. The seal. I don't know what's going on with the seal now. Something terrible's happened. Seal turns into a lady. That's it. That's her nose. A shark with wings. Well, obviously this is my peacock. I mean, I do the peacock two different ways. This is one way I do the peacock, and then it's got the tail. And this is the usual way I do it now because I can move the little crest and the beak, but if you give it like a wing, it could be like a phoenix rising out of the flames like that. A shark with wings. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to. An evil granny. We're back on the granny again. An evil granny. So like a witch, basically. Something like a witch. Something like a witch. Something like a witch. There we go. A very, very evil granny. Yeah, evil granny. Yeah, I quite like this idea of this character being the Selkie. And then she turns back into a seal. Sometimes people think my bear is a seal, so I'm going to just try a variation on that. Yeah. It still looks like a bear to me. There's the seal. And there it goes into the water. Mhm. A gnome. Okay. Interesting one. Because he'd also have the pointy hat like the witch. A gnome. There we go. I'll just give him a bit more detail. There we go. He's got a little round nose. Yay! Look at the nose. Oh, but he would have a beard, wouldn't he? Because he's a gnome. So there you go. He's got a beard. I don't use these pointy hats enough. My technique's not very good with them. Yeah, that's a gnome, isn't it? They usually have beards, don't they? To be honest, and he's quite small. Yeah. Oh, and then there's something called a harpy. Well, we're on mythical creatures, harpy. Yeah, that's right. So it's part eagle and part eagle, part lady and part eagle. So she's got a wing, a harpy. There we go. That's a harpy. She's got claws, back claws. I can't get the claws as well. Music flute. Person playing a flute. I think that's what you're asking for. Okay. So I did actually do this, but I used a little stick to make the flute. I made Krishna playing the flute. So let's try it like this. Oh, it's incredibly, and the person is sitting on the ground playing the flute. There you go. We'll use that again. There we go. Yeah. And I'm going to stand up and take a bow. That was fun. That was really fun. What a good suggestion. It's kind of like one of those tough things like making a grasshopper. And the back legs of the grasshopper are like this, which is a bit like an elephant. And the front of the grasshopper is like this. And then I used two, uh, I've just gone blank, what are they called? Chopsticks to make the antenna. Somebody asked me about turning the elephant's nose into a crocodile. The single hander was Harry with somebody. So let's turn it into a crocodile. A dragon, yeah. And the dog appears. I don't know which dog that would be. Um, so I make a dragon now. I take this off the rabbit and then the mouth, the teeth, and then I add an extra spike. And that's my dragon. Dragon's head. Yeah. A Kinney dragon. Skinny. Is this dragon a skinny dragon? Do you mean make a skinny dragon, or do you mean that dragon's just skinny? I think it's possible to use the crocodile head to make a dragon. Because dragons have wings, right? So, um, yeah. I'll give my dragon a wing now. There we go. It's a whole new dragon. A skinny dragon flying through the air. Oh, that's quite hard on the fingers. Maybe it'll break. Yeah, there we go. Skinny dragon. Fun. So we're starting to combine characters to make new creatures. Yeah, it does look a bit like a pterodactyl. You're right. Actually, I thought that. I've never really been able to make a good pterodactyl, so this is quite a good. It's quite a good solution. Yeah, wicked pterodactyl. Although they have like a thing sticking out of their head, don't they? The head is like this pterodactyl, I believe. Maybe I can try and make the fingers do that. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, well, I think I might call it a night. I hope that was fun for you. It was a lot of fun for me. This is the best dragon the moment before. With the pterodactyl one, or with the pterodactyl one, or the after this. I don't know what shape I was making. That one. I made a dragon head like this. That one. Crocodile with wings. This crocodile with wings. Obviously, you can't see so clearly because my hands in the way, but yeah. Great, yeah, it was fun actually. Fun for me. It was really. I was having such a laugh trying to think of ways to make some of these shadows, which some of which are just impossible. Um, but yeah, thank you. I might do another session tomorrow night because I've got 3 nights off and not a lot to do. So yeah, that would be great to see you again, and otherwise some other people. But have a good night and thanks for joining. Yeah, the new animals, that was good. I especially like the red panda. That was fun. And some mythical creatures. Think of some good questions for next time. See you again. Good night.